Gerber Kawasaki CEO Ross Gerber joins us now. His firm owns more than 400,000 Tesla shares worth about $100 million. He also owns 40,000 Netflix shares worth about $7 million. Let's just tackle Tesla here. What are you expecting, and what is the issue that Elon needs to tackle most closely?
Cybertruck. I mean, 100%. It's really the year of the Cybertruck. So, we don't expect anything exciting from earnings. And, quite frankly, they've been sort of in this weird struggle to sell cars at lower prices. So I think that's sort of baked into the stock. So what we're really looking at is the future, and the future is the Cybertruck. And so getting a launch date is crucially important in my mind. And so hopefully he'll announce that, and it'll be in the next 30 days, and that would be a very positive development.
How quickly would we see addition to the bottom line from Cybertruck sales? I know there is a massive waiting list. So once they do start churning them off the assembly line, how will that affect earnings?
Well, negatively in the short term, because as you ramp production, your costs exceed, the money you're making on the vehicles, even though they'll sell the high-end vehicles first to the people who pay the most for them. So usually with Tesla in the past, they've had to get to well over 100,000 cars to be profitable. So we don't expect Cybertruck to be, let's say, profitable this year in 2024. But what it will do is help sell lots of other Teslas that are profitable, because it's the best advertising for Tesla in the world will be Cybertrucks driving around the United States.
Got to ask you about Netflix. Netflix obviously has been absolutely the shining star when it comes to streamers at the moment. When you see what they did with, for example, Suits, they took an old broadcast legacy show and they've suddenly made it super hot. Does that put them in the pole position to knock Disney Plus aside and really give the other names a much more difficult time?
Well, Disney Plus actually has better shows on right now than Netflix. If you look at the movies and the shows they have on currently, actually. So, I look at Disney Plus and Hulu and Netflix are the must-have apps, and the other ones are the ones that people will buy and sell depending on what shows are on. But Netflix is in a great position because they were able to buy shows from HBO, actually, and they've done really well on Netflix, like The Pacific, for example. So all of a sudden I'm on Netflix and I'm looking at HBO shows going, what is Zaslav doing over here? Is he that desperate for money? He's now selling off his best catalog shows to Netflix. And kind of like when you mentioned Suits, there's so much content that can be regurgitated or was recently made that people haven't seen. And so Netflix is in a really good spot compared to the rest of the companies with the SAG strike. And, we expect actually the numbers to be very good at Netflix because they're actually not spending money on production.
The markets overall, we've got about a minute left here, Ross. Very difficult times geopolitically, exogenous events like what's going on in the Middle East. This could, of course, leak and spread throughout the region. Do you see this as a time where investors should just sit tight, wait and watch, with the Dow down 318, S&P down 57, the NASDAQ down 219?
Well, I was buying stocks all morning, today.
Okay.
I actually am very bullish. The economy is much stronger than anybody predicted. Everybody thought we'd be in a recession right now. Earnings season has just begun, and I expect blowout numbers from lots of companies in lots of industries, especially consumer discretionary. And so, the economy, things are pretty good. We've been, whacked over the head for 2 years by Jerome Powell, and now we're still going strong. So maybe we have no landing yet, in the economy, but that's actually good news. So we've seen all the negative of higher rates, but we haven't seen the positive of higher earnings.
Well, everybody should strap themselves in because Jay Powell speaks tomorrow at the Economic Club of New York. Ross, thank you. Tomorrow.